Masjid Mary, a true story. A slightly sunny Friday, I swing into the car park at the out-of-town supermarket on my way home. Sitting on the path immediately before where I park sits a woman in bright subcontinental clothing. I ignore her, but she leaps up and says to me, imploring, "Please sir, Masjid, Masjid." It is lucky for her that I know what she's talking about, because no one else would. "Mosque," I say to her. "No one calls it a masjid here." She relates that a bus driver had dropped her at this out-of-town location. She asked for the masjid. "The mosque is on the other side of town," I explain. "He's brought you to the wrong place." I am frankly a bit tired of these people saying masjid when everyone else says mosque, and then they wonder why bus drivers get confused. I go into the store to fetch my wares. When I come out, she's still there. "Please sir," she says, "you take me to the masjid?" She is not clad in hijab. She is some South Indian lady, I would say. She's pushy. "All right," I say, "get in." I would drive her to the masjid. But why did she want to go to the masjid? She wanted to be in time for the Friday khutbah. But women aren't required at the Friday khutbah and are often not catered for. And she was dressed like a Hindu, not a Muslimina. The incongruity grew more acute when I asked her name, and she said, "Mary." "Where are you from, Mary?" I asked, as I drove back towards the centre of town. The mosque was inconspicuous in the corner of an industrial estate, so as not to frighten locals. "Sri Lanka," she said. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "You're a refugee?" "Yes," she said. "Why did you leave Sri Lanka?" "The government is corrupt," she explained. "So?" said I. "How long have you been here?" "A month." Why was she wandering around alone on the outskirts of a rural town? She was clearly lost. "Do you like it here?" I wondered. "No," she said. "No? Why did you come here?" "I didn't know." "You didn't know?" She didn't know what? Where and what Australia is? I had to wonder, in fact, if she was wandering around homeless. "I want to go back," she said. "I didn't want to leave." She didn't want to leave. Her government was corrupt. Here she was. None of this was usual on a slightly sunny Friday. When eventually we approached the masjid and I pointed it out to her, she suddenly became anxious. "No, no, no," she said. She didn't want me to drop her at the door. In fact, she wanted me to drop her further up the road, not at the masjid, near the masjid. I could see the brothers were just then assembling at the building in their Friday best for the khutbah. There are very few Muslims in this part of the world. All 6 of them were assembling. But this Mary didn't want to be seen. She made me drive past the building and stop further up the road. "You're a Muslim woman?" I asked. "No," she said. Then what was she doing? She didn't want to say. I had to work it out for myself. "It's not like in Sri Lanka," I told her. "Outside the mosque isn't a good place to beg." She just looked at me. I had her sussed. She was a professional beggar. I had seen plenty of them in India and Pakistan. Like other beggars and undesirables, she had been rounded up and shipped off to a better life far away. All she knew was that when the Muslim men leave after the khutbah, they regard it as awfully meritorious to give generously to the beggars at the door. Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, smiles upon it. It is the sunnah of the Rasul. She was downcast to learn from me that mosques might not be like that in her new land. It was in any case not customary to beg outside of mosques in Australia. Not yet. Thinking what best to do for her, I offered to drive her to the migrant community office in town. They would know. But she was determined to go to the masjid, in which case I had to be content that the Muslim brothers there and perhaps the Imam himself might look after her as an act of charity, since she was profoundly out of place. "All right, Mary," I said. "Take care." I drove home thinking that Mary was just the first. If she had wandered aimlessly this far into the country, there would be others. Poor Mary. She was a random. She really had no idea where she was, and only a vague idea of what had happened to her.